The NAIDOC Round came about in 2006 when we decided to do something to promote that specific occasion in Aboriginal history and culture. We got together the president of the football club, Terry Dean. We got together Brad Collard, who was a 200-game player and a prominent Noongar footballer. Also his good friend Richard Wally, who was a member of the Noongar community. And we got together to discuss a program which we were going to introduce in 2007. We invited the Claremont Football Club to join us because they also had a past history of many outstanding Indigenous footballers. So the two clubs had got together and started that unique NAIDOC Week game, which happens every year now in the first week of July. And then we decided that it would be a great idea for someone to design Indigenous jumpers. And one of the guys on the committee, Richard Wally, was an Aboriginal artist. So it was very easy for Richard to come along and design first a jumper for Claremont and South Fremantle, and then in ensuing years, for the other 7 clubs to join in. His designs are simple, they're easy to read. The very first one has a bulldog paw in the front to symbol the dog. And if you look at the Claremonts, Claremont have got a tiger paw. So he does, there's a little story attached to all of his designs. I think if you go back to the history of Aboriginal involvement in football, the first player was a guy called Jimmy Melbourne, who played with West Perth, South Fremantle and Subi. Now Jimmy had his first game in 1900. He was actually a member of the West Perth Premiership side of 1901. However, when you go through the histories of the clubs, you'll find out there's only a handful of players engaged in playing football at WAFL level. Now, it wasn't until the great Sebastian Rioli came down from Darwin in 1972 that opened the floodgates. Well, the greatest Aboriginal footballer to play at South Fremantle undoubtedly was Stephen Michael.
Michael from behind takes a spectacular mark.
He was a player that, when he was on song, South Fremantle used to win. Majestically speaking, no one was better than Mr. Magic Maurice Rioli. But people should not forget the other players like Basil Campbell, Benny Vagona, the 3 Matera brothers, etc. They all had their unique style of play as something that makes our game truly national and truly great. The game is actually made for Aboriginal people. I like watching them all. I think Leroy Jetta, one of our boys, is playing with Essendon. He's just starting to blossom now. I think Toby McGrath, who had played for South Fremantle and is still a current player, who won the Sandover Medal in 2005, and his brothers Corey and Ashley that plays for the Brisbane Lions now are great to watch. The Indigenous players look forward to the game, and so do their families. And it's great to see that when these games are held once a year, you'll see the Indigenous flags also around the oval, which they bring themselves along, and they're very proud of their race, and so they should be. There's a welcome to country by an Aboriginal elder. There's some tributes. There's also some Aboriginal dance, and if they want to go a little bit further, they might have some spear throwing and some boomerang throwing, etc. It has actually put hopefully the contribution that these Indigenous players have made to football in WA on the map. And it's great that every year that WAFL has embraced it and enabled the clubs to put on this particular game during NAIDOC Week.